Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Speed Souls Dark Souls PTDE All Bosses tournament. And the streams are not muted. Can you please mute them? Right. But so today we have the last match of the losers round one. So we're gonna close the third week a little bit later with an exciting match. We have MrRaiden versus Catalystz today. So it's gonna be pretty interesting. And yeah, so I'm gonna be hosting. I'm altering, and I'm gonna be hosting with my dear friend Red to game. I mean Alibaba.
No. Hello, everyone. I'm actually the true 2 game, by the way. So I'm here commentating with Elfrin today.
I was trying to write Red, and I just got confused a little bit. But yeah.
Yeah, bun.
So I guess the runners are ready to start because the character selection is ready. So we're just waiting for Red to start the timer because it's. Yeah. So, by the way, if you don't know, Speed Souls were one of the oldest and biggest communities centered around Soulsborne games, and we are solely focused on speedrunning this game. So, if you have any interest in learning how to speedrun this game or just participating into the community, contributing to the wiki and all this sort of stuff, be sure to follow us on the Discord and just check us out pretty much everywhere you can find us. And we're off to start.
Raiden, bit of a late start for Raiden, but should be okay. Oh, not skipping the cutscene.
Might be
This is
having some
concerning.
controller issues.
He's typing in the chat. Yeah.
Should we restart both? Oh, okay, there. Yeah, okay. So yeah, we are gonna restart real quick because Red was having some issues. Raiden.
Yeah.
Well, apologize about it, but technical issues happen. So I was just gonna wait for them to ready up the characters again. There you go. And both runners are gonna start with a thief, just in order to kill Asylum Demon as fast as possible with the black fire bombs because they don't need the bow right from the start. So there we go.
Yeah, so
Okay, the runners are joining the lobby again for the race. Yeah. Okay, so we're about to start the race. You should be seeing. Yeah, there we go. This
both
timer
timers
starts
running
right
this
now.
time. That's a good sign.
Yep, always a good sign. And off we go.
We are off. See, as Elfrind already mentioned, both runners started with Thief and Black Firebombs. That's because the Thief already starts with the Master Key. So we start with Firebombs so we can kill Asylum really quick here at the start, instead of having to run around and do him with melee.
Now there's a bunch of ways to start the game depending on what category you run and what route. So in this case, you're gonna see some pretty fast asylums. And you can see some character customization on a Raiden side, while Kata runs vanilla as usual. There we go. Raiden, interestingly, dropping the sword hilt.
Yeah, Asylum's a pretty simple fight, just 5 bombs, and he's down.
Yeah, pretty much the only thing you have to concern about is just start throwing bombs in the correct position, but that's pretty fast to pick up.
Yeah,
There
and
you go.
something you will notice Kata doing while he's running is he will toggle as he starts sprinting, and that's because in this game it takes a bit of time to transition from jogging speed to running speed. But if you toggle or do any upper body animation, you'll actually get to full speed a bit faster. So it only saves about 1 frame each time you do it, but can save up to a second or two if you do it consistently throughout the run.
Yep, yep. It's not really necessary, but a lot of the runners so I like to do it, even though, like Ali said, like, it's not really a huge time save, but
Yeah. It does give you something to do while running though, which is nice.
exactly. And later on, we're probably gonna see someone toggling the weapon ammo because of the same reason, because that's also an animation that can have the same effect, or even blocking at the right time. And we can see, if you've seen speedruns elsewhere, you probably noticed we usually quit out when we open gates, but these races are measured in real time, so the quitting out counts toward your actual time, so they won't do it.
Yeah, so normally when you quit out on doors, it can save up to around 4 or 5 seconds IGT, but each quit out's around 10 seconds RTA, so since we're timing in RTA, it's just faster to wait for those animations. Oh, kind of fell off there.
Up, up, up.
So that's one of the powers of quit out in this game, is when you fall off a ledge and quit out, the game will restore your position to the last stable point you were at, which is nice. Can save you in a lot of cases.
Yeah, pretty well on trick. And you can see Raiden was a little bit slower, but it actually got to Undeadburg faster than Kata because of that fall. We mentioned earlier behind the scenes, like, this is a race, so anything can happen, so it's gonna be fun. And
So we can
actually, both runners get staggered by the Hellkite Drake. Oh,
Yeah, so both runners are gonna go to the Undead Merchant here. They're gonna buy some arrows, rapier, bow, and shield, and they're gonna perform a glitch called the prompt swap. Basically, the way that works is we abuse the fact that this is a PC port, so we take the mouse cursor and place it over one of the arrows in the merchant menu, and we press A or X on the controller and left click at the same time. And what that does is it brings up the prompt to buy an item, and switches to a different set of items in the merchant menu at the same time, which allows us to buy items we normally couldn't afford, which is what both runners just did for the bottomless box.
yeah, you can see on Raiden's side, it took a bit of a weird pathing, and the hollows just won't let him pass, but there you go. Just to pass. Meanwhile, Cat is on his way to grab the gold pine raisin, and a lot of routes use this just because it's way faster to kill the Taurus demon with that. So we're gonna see him apply that right before facing the Taurus demon. And Raiden, of course, is doing the same thing.
Yeah, and one nice thing about the Bandit's Knife is it actually deals quite a bit of bleed damage. So when you mix that in with the Gopine resin, the Taurus fight's actually pretty quick.
And as you just see, like, whenever you enter a fog gate, you really have nothing else to do there. So you're gonna see a lot of manning happening during fog gates. And the Taurus demon has very specific locations for each attack that he does. There's very specific location where you can just stand and not get hit. So we can see Kata massively taking advantage of that, while Raiden just had a little bit of an issue. But I'm pretty sure he can recover from this. Probably gonna go for some rolls just for extra safety, yeah. And Taurus demon is down on both sides. Well, Kata is gonna try to cut. Both of them are gonna try to cut the Drake sword, so the tail of the Hellkite dragon like drops a Drake sword when you cut the tail, and that's a very useful weapon to deal with the Iron Golem fast. So both runners gonna get it.
Yeah, it looks like Raiden's going to use throwing knives. It's a very interesting strat.
Yeah. Because he does not have a bow at all, and it looks like he
Ooh, he
missed, but they didn't
missed.
notice.
You can get as a second try though. Right, he should be fine here. Okay, nice. So yeah, both runners managed to get the Drake sword this time. or this race rather, which is nice. No backups required.
We're gonna see on Catalystz right now SenseGate skip. It's pretty much the most well-known sequence break in Dark Souls 1. It's one of the first glitches or skips that were discovered. And what this does is basically gonna trigger what's called the death cam, which is the cinematic camera that you usually get right before you fall to your death. And when that camera is on, the assets in new areas won't load because the game does not want to waste resources, and so the gate or a sense fortress is just not gonna be there, so it's gonna be able to go right through it without ringing the 2 bells that are usually
Oh
required.
no.
Ooh, and
Raiden
it
just
looks like
died.
yeah, it looks like Raiden had a little bit of a problem with the hollows.
That's a really long run back now. It's really
Yeah,
unfortunate.
it's really unfortunate because yeah, it's gonna have to run all the way back. Oh, and it looks like was
Yeah,
this all part of the plan?
he picks up RTSR on his route, I believe, so I think he just wants to go this way instead.
I guess it's just switching up a little bit.
Yeah.
On the other side, Kata just entered the Sense Gate, at 7 minutes into the game, which is a pretty good time for a
Yeah.
race.
And now he's running through Sense Fortress, which is a pretty difficult area casually. It's probably the area that killed me the most when I played the game, but luckily in speedruns, because everything's based off cycles, you don't actually need to worry. It's actually one of the easy areas to run through because of that. Kada attempted the move swap there, did not get it. Let's see if he gets it second try. Okay, nice. So the reason that works is because basically in this game, the only weapon the game lets you two-hand in your left hand is the bow. So what you do is you queue it up during an animation, the two-handing of it, and then you, at a specific time, you equip a different weapon, and if you do it correctly, the game will then two-hand that weapon in your left hand, which normally is not something you should be able to do. So in this state, the game essentially acts as though you still have the bow equipped. So the bow obviously has an R1, but it doesn't have a run-in attack, roll attack, backstep attack, or plunge attack. So the game takes that information from your right-hand weapon instead, which in this case, with the we have the rapier, which has a run-in attack that is a very fast double hit. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I might add, I'm fairly sure that everybody who's speedrun this game in the past and just seen someone like Catalystz fail a move swap feels really, really good about themselves right now. Because then you realize that does not just happen to you, but it happens also to the best of us. So on the other side, Raiden is about to grab the RTSR, which is pretty much everybody knows it, but it's a ring that basically gives you more damage when you're low on health, and from the way that the damage is calculated, it's basically double damage. It's a pretty common ring in speedruns because it just allows you to melt through bosses. While Catalystz on the other side, I'm fairly sure we won't know until we see it, but I'm fairly sure that he's gonna glitch the game in
Yeah,
order
he
to
is.
pretend he has it. Yeah, through a glitch called ESM or equip slot manipulation. So
Yeah,
he's not gonna
so
bother picking it up.
see, RTSR is probably the most broken item in the game. It approximately increases your attack rating by 50%, but the actual damage output can actually be higher than that. But obviously it only activates when you're below 20% HP. So we saw Raiden pick it up normally, and as Elfwin mentioned, Kata is going to do... he's going to trick the game instead to save about a minute 20. Because it's pretty slow to go pick up, because it's quite out the way.
Now we can
But
see Kata facing probably the most difficult boss in the run, just because you have to do very precise movements and very precise hits in order to make him fall in the proper way.
so one of the consequences of Kata's route is that he has to do fights like Iron Golem without RTSR, which makes the fight quite a bit more finicky than it will be for Raiden.
But it looks like he went through no problem, and he's on his way to Anolondo. Meanwhile, Raiden is picking up a bow right now because the bow is very useful for a bunch of things, including the move swap glitch that earlier, so Ali mentioned earlier. So now he's also allowed to do that. I'm kind of wondering whether he died on purpose to port back.
Did Raiden pick up the grass crest shield, by the way? I didn't see.
I'm not sure because I was looking at Iron Golem. I think chat maybe could tell us, but it would make sense because the Graska shield is also
Okay,
pretty
yeah, yeah,
pretty
he
useful
did,
shield.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, the grass crest shield is a shield that you normally see runners pick up in categories like any percent no wrong warp. We used to pick it up in all bosses before ESM was discovered, when we had to go out the way to pick up RTSR. We will not be seeing it on Kata's side, but what it does, it basically just gives you faster stamina regen, which when used throughout the whole run can actually save a decent amount of time.
Yep. And we can see Kara facing the rafters, another area that is not very well loved by casual runs. But yeah, it's usually fairly straightforward. But the thing is, like, these guys just sometimes they just don't want to see you go through motos. They can do some weird stuff. But it looks like it was pretty average RNG for Kata in this case. And Raiden
Yeah.
now popping some humanities and dipping some souls and leveling up for his setup. And I guess it's gonna try to do Sensei skip right now. So I think he might have actually died on purpose earlier, just to go back.
He was going to, I assume, I don't know for certain, but I think what he was going to do is do the old male Draco path and to pick up RTSR if he didn't die. But because he died, he just went down the Valley of the Drakes path instead. So he didn't have
Yeah,
to
that
do
would
that
make
path
sense.
in.
Yeah, that would make sense. Okay, so Catalystz is picking up a ring that we will never use. The only reason that we picked a ring is because we need a ring to perform the glitch that we talked earlier, ESM. So that's the easiest ring to pick up, basically. It's basically free. You just have to walk 2 steps, grab it, and then go back. And now he's gonna go face the interior van in London.
Oh, it looks like Raiden's taken on the gargoyles early with Drake's sword. This is
Very
interesting.
interesting.
And without move swap as well.
Right.
Meanwhile, we see Kada's going to do a little trick here of the elevator where he jumps onto the ledge and quits out, does a quit out before the elevator reaches its final position, and if he does that, then the elevator will remain at the bottom, which will save around 12 or so seconds because you won't need to pull the lever for it to come back down when he goes to Priscilla later.
Yeah. And if you just notice Raiden jumping instead of rolling that attack, it's because if you never played Prepare to Die edition, basically, when you're running, you cannot roll. There's some ways to make you roll, which is you have to be. I've been blocking for a while, a good while, I might add. So that's why it was caught off guard by that attack, and he couldn't roll, and he did a jump instead, and it was it. So he had to quit out.
It's not a very good position for the first gargoyle to be in. Oh, a nice tail cut.
Yep. Meanwhile, Catalystz facing the memeiest guys in the whole Souls franchise, but should not have any problem at all. Especially when that guy just wants to die so bad, and he's off to run London.
And Kada's also going to go pick up what's going to be the main melee weapon for the run, which is the Dragon Tooth. Normally, in a speed run, we wouldn't want to pick this up because it's a very slow weapon, but with move swap, we can turn it into a very fast weapon, which means that we can take advantage of just how much damage it does as a heavy weapon very quickly.
And the first bell has been rung. Right inside.
Oh, apparently he skipped the bonfire again. Damn. Well then.
Interesting routing.
We'll see how ONS goes for him then. We'll see if he
Yeah,
pays for this.
I guess Kala is having a little bit of a flex. Just because that bonfire right before ONS, it's a godsend when you can't take it and it doesn't waste too much time. But because ONS, like, well, to be fair, with the Dragon Tooth setup, with move swap, they're not a hard fight at all. But the problem is, like, they're a very heavily RNG fight. So even if Even if you kill them, it could take you like 3 times the time that you're supposed to be taking. If the, for example, Ornstein just decides to dance around the room for a while.
It's
Looks
definitely
like
the most RNG heavy fight in this route, I would say. Got the mediocre opening. Let's see how this goes.
looks like
One more running
oh,
attack on Ornstein. Okay, nice.
it looks like Smo is on his side definitely because he just decided to get out of there. So I would say average RNG.
So normally when you kill Ornstein, the fight is usually pretty chill because the Dragon Tooth does an enormous amount of poise damage, so if Smo behaves and doesn't do anything abnormal, you can just unlock him, as Kada is demonstrating here.
Yep. Although it's also quite scary because the hitboxes in Dark Souls are not that good at all. So sometimes you hit him, but just you won't damage him, and so that can be scary. But he went through it with no problem. And now we're gonna see something that has been memed a lot as well, but it's not gonna be gonna stay there for long. So praise them now while you have them, and they're gone.
And Kada kills Guinevere because talking to her takes an omega long amount of time, so it's just faster to shoot her with an arrow there.
Yeah, and there's also some routes that kill her just because it resets your bonfire to start the final Londo, so you don't have to pick it up, but you can port there. But yeah. So now Kara has got the Lord Vessel, so he can warp. Meanwhile, Raiden is just facing the Sense Fortress, and he's gonna take quite an interesting pathing. I guess he entered at a time that he's not comfortable with, so he's just kind of improvising the timings.
Yeah, and I think he's going to set Abartius out of the trap as well. No wrong warp style, which would be pretty cool to see.
Oh yeah, because he already has RTSR, so why not?
Yeah.
So meanwhile, Kata is finding the what's commonly known as the gangbang room, because anything can happen here. But it looks like
Almost jinxed.
Yeah, that was actually kind of monkey-ass. But it went through it with no problems. Like I'm sure it doesn't mind not having full health because the gargoyles fight, especially with move swap and dragon tooth, is gonna be pretty fast. Anyways.
Yeah, and as you can see, Kada has a much more of an easier Gargoyles fight than Raiden had. Because once again here we can take advantage of the Dragon Tooth's poise damage, which just destroys them.
Yep. And now we're gonna see some more mining on the ladders, just because you really have nothing to do, and it's such a boring time for speedrunner. So he's probably drinking his water right now.
Yeah, and the reason
can see some failed move swaps on Raiden's side. We mentioned earlier in this tournament, but like failing a move swap is especially in a race environment, is puts such heavy pressure on you because move swap is 100% a muscle memory glitch. So when you start training your brain with the wrong muscle memory, it can be quite hard to get it out of it, especially without taking a break in a race environment. But he managed to recover and got his second try.
Yeah, and unlike Kada, Raiden just has to do 2 running attacks to stagger Golem here, and then 1 more to make him fall off with RTSR. And we also saw Kada kill Lautrec. Reason for that is because if you don't kill him, then once you ring the second bell, he will take away the Firekeeper, which means that you won't be able to rest at Firelink, which means that you would have to warp there every time you want to go somewhere from there. And the only way to fix that would be to do a really long quest line, so it's just faster to kill him there so that doesn't happen.
Yep.
And he's also going to attempt Blighttown plunges. Basically what happens is when you plunge off of a sloped surface, basically the game allows you to roll out of that animation for a certain amount of time, even when midair. So we're going to try to use that to get to the bottom of Blighttown really fast, which bypasses having to go on the water wheel. Let's see how it goes here for Kata.
I just say Blasphemy is such a commonly hated area of the game, so speedrunners found so many ways to skip it. And it looks like he goes, oh no, never mind.
Right, nice.
I thought he was going for the safer route on the wheel.
Yeah, and obviously you, if it wasn't obvious, the reason you survive is because you iframe the full damage with your rolls. Which is pretty funny how they coded iframes to iframe all damage, even full damage, which is pretty funny.
So, Raiden on the left side is gonna face the rafters as well, which, like I mentioned, it's usually pretty straightforward in a speedrun, but anything can happen with RNG, like because there's a bunch of guys throwing daggers at you, other guys that could just stand in your way, but we'll see how he does.
Yeah, the spookiest part of rafters is actually just the ladder at the start because you have no control over whether you get knifed or not.
Yeah, that's why other runners just heal before getting in, especially if they're not trying to get a world record. And looks like he went through pretty decently. Meanwhile, Kata just fought Quelaag, which is a pretty straightforward fight again, because Dragon Tooth is just so overpowered, especially with move swap. Rather exclusively with swap. And it's gonna ring the second bell.
And he's gonna win the second bell, and he's also gonna rest at the Daughter of Chaos Bonfire, which is actually the main reason why Sensegate Skip saves time in all bosses, because if you didn't do SGS, you would have to bone back from the second bell after you ring it, and then run down to Blighttown again later. But if you do SGS, you can just rest at this bonfire, which means you only have to go down to Blighttown once, which saves like 2 minutes, which is nice.
It looks like it did the firebomb strat, but it didn't kill one of the larvae, unless I'm blind. But wasn't a problem at all. But I think one of the larvae survived. At this point, we're gonna see Kata do some duping, so he's gonna talk to Fram. That's the main reason why we open, like, we ring the 2 bells this early. That's because now we can place the Lord Vessel, and as well he can talk to Fram and do some duping through him. He's gonna duplicate a lot of souls just to buy everything he needs and level up as much as he wants.
Yeah, so I don't know the exact technicalities behind it, but basically there's like you basically, because you're trying to sell more of an item than what you actually have, the game just assumes that you must have that number of the item, so it gives that to you. So you basically just scam the game.
Yeah, but anyways, Fram is trying to scam you through the whole game, so
That's true.
it's only fair. No, he's gonna buy it's gonna buy some soul spears. Just because it's so powerful, and then he's gonna be off again. Meanwhile, Raiden is getting a Dragon Tooth as well, and in his route, I believe you mentioned, he's gonna upgrade it to +5, just for that extra damage. Because I don't think he is gonna use magic at all.
Yeah,
Unlike Catalystz.
we see Kata getting a bunch of levels. Gets 33 Vit for safety as well as some Artisan setups, 16 attunement for the spells, 52 endurance, specifically for air roll setups, which we'll explain a bit later, 53 strength for a 2-shot Artorias fight, 45 dex for faster cast speed, and 99 int for max magic damage.
Yep, as we've seen, he just keep a whole lot of soul spears, and he's gonna head off to Stray Demon. And the reason he's doing Stray Demon right now is because he can get the Peculiar Doll on his way. And that's gonna be a little bit of a better routing when he actually needs to go to Priscilla, which is gonna come right after this. And the reason that we want Priscilla to come as soon as possible is because in the Painting World you can find the Red Sign Soapstone, and that is the item that you need to perform the glitch that we mentioned earlier, ESM. So that item basically shares the same ID as RTSR, but on different item categories. And so basically we're gonna trick the game by keeping this the red sign soapstone on the ring slot, even though you couldn't on without glitching. And the game doesn't know what to do with it. So since the idea is the same as the RTSR, it's just gonna pretend that he has an RTSR.
Yeah, we trick the game into being confused, basically. Yeah, in the older ES Malus routes, we used to have to do Stray Demon with +0 Dragon Tooth move swap, which was a nightmare. But with the new routing, we can just use Soul Spear, which is a lot more chill.
Yep, and it's down. And as I mentioned, now he's gonna just pick up the peculiar doll to access the painted world. Meanwhile, we had a pretty decent fight on ONS on Raiden's side. A little bit late in the game, but still a pretty decent fight.
Meanwhile, Kada's going to make his way to the painted world to not only kill Priscilla, but to get the Red Sign Soapstone, as Elfrin mentioned. So nice headshot from Raiden as well, and Guinevere.
So like we mentioned, Kata had a straight for the painted world, and meanwhile, let's see what Raiden does, and he warps to Anna London. Did I see right? No, because he wants to say no. Never mind. No, I didn't. Well, let's see what Raiden is gonna do. Meanwhile, Kat is gonna access the painted world, and he's gonna just go straight for the red sign soapstone, and from there from Priscilla. Oh, he wants to kick down Lothric, obviously, and he actually grabs favor and protection ring. Looks like. I guess he wants some extra damage. Does it give him that? No, some extra keep load. I mean, I don't know.
You mean the Ring of Favor and Protection? It gives you an upgrade to your health
HP,
and
load,
HP and
yeah.
HP endurance and equip load. Pretty sure.
Yes, sir. I'm not sure why he's picking it up though. It must be to set up some air rolls or something. Then
It's just for
right?
safety, I think. It does give you more health.
On Kara side, we can see acquire the red sign soapstone again, which is like we just mentioned, the island that we need to pretend we have RTSR. He plunged back, and now he's on his way to Priscilla.
Yeah, and
We
he
see
did a
Raiden.
nice. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we just saw Raiden trying to go for the plunge, but winning
Dragon
out.
Tooth Plunge, Monka Shake.
Yeah. And
Oh, yeah,
that's
it's unfortunate.
well, that's not much of a time loss, to be fair, because he saved the fire link, right? So,
Yeah. And we
so,
see Kada taking on Priscilla. He's gonna shoot her with an arrow because once you deal damage to her, she goes invisible immediately and stays that way until you deal enough damage to her. But if you shoot an arrow, you can see where she is until it disappears. But Kada got lucky because when you lock onto Priscilla, if you get a good spawn, you can actually see where she is instantly, which is what he got. Now it is time for ESM now from Kada's side. So he's going to first of all perform quantity storage, which is what he did for Framped earlier. So he's going to store up a quantity of 998, and he's going to quantity storage 999 pikes into one. And basically what happens is, in this game, there is actually a weight limit, which is a leftover mechanic from Demon Souls. But they set it at 10,000 weight units, which is pretty much impossible to reach casually or even in speedruns, normal speedruns. But with the use of quantity storage, we can exceed that number. And when we do that, we get into what we call a crammed state. And when you're crammed, the game prevents you not only from picking up new items, but also from, for some reason, unequipping rings. But when you try to unequip the ring, you get a error message, and for some convoluted reason, the game then lets you equip items from other equipment slots into your ring slot. So we set it up so that we can equip the ring ID equivalent of Red Sign Soapstone into our right ring slot, and it just so happens that the ring that shares the same ID with the Red Sign Soapstone is actually the Red Tearstone ring, which lets us so we can glitch it into our inventory.
Yep. We see Raiden giving up on the plunge, taking a safer route to the left side. Probably for good reasons. Like when you're under pressure on a race and you start messing up the single times, it's kind of heavy on your morale. And we see Raiden going for the dragon scale that's behind this bonfire because he wants to dupe it in order to upgrade his dragon tooth.
Yeah, I think Raiden's still doing the old Dragon Tooth +5 route from 2018 tourney.
Yep, like it. But that started with the hunter, right? If I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah,
just a little bit
it
more.
started with Hunter, but he started with Thief this time.
We're gonna see Kara facing the Hydra right now, which is gonna be pretty comfy with spells, with soul spears, and he's gonna probably set up RTSR on his plunge right now. Yep, keeping the dragon tooth just for that extra damage, and then getting rid of everything. And he's gonna do another one of those plunges we mentioned earlier. So basically, the game will make him stand up right at the very end of the fall, and at that point, he's allowed to roll and just iframe the fall damage.
And the reason why we have to kill Hydra, obviously, is because when you kill Hydra, you can go free Dusk, and once you free Dusk, the Golem at the start of Duke's Archives will drop the Broken Pendant, which is the item you need to enter the DLC. And naturally, because it's an all bosses run, we obviously need to kill the DLC bosses.
So we're gonna see some Quilla fight on the left side, on Raiden side. And with the dragon tooth, that should be kill. Always see how it does. Meanwhile, Kara killing the golden crystal golem just a free dust cup. And it's gonna roll straight back to where she spawns after this.
Yeah, and the reason why Kada's going to summon Dusk right now is so he can get the Crown of Dusk when he goes to enter the DLC, which will save about a minute's worth of time from things we'll see a bit later.
I see Raiden almost getting hit by the lava spit. And Raiden taking a little bit more risks than I would in this race, because I was so close to the lava, because the lava hitbox is not what you actually see. Quite different, so took his risks. He could have easily slipped against the hitbox and just been basically teleported to the left and hit the lava, but looks like it paid off for him.
Yeah, and we see Kada's going to perform the negative quantity dupe. So he quantity storage is 998 Ulyssil Catalysts, and then when he tries to buy the item again, it will set up a negative quantity. And then he opens a double menu, what we call a double menu, with the brightness. So he basically opens the brightness menu, and right after opens the menu where all the items and whatnot are. And when you drop an item, when you have a double menu open, the game actually lets you drop the negative quantity you have stored. And when you do that, it actually dupes the item for you. So he did that for the dragon scales.
We see Pepe the Frog now on his way to front as well. And place the Lord Vest on. It's gonna do this, basically the same dupe in the Kara did, just for different purposes. It's gonna dupe the dragon scales in order to upgrade the dragon tooth, and also some souls, I presume, to level up. And I think that's it.
Yeah. And obviously Raiden can just ramp dupe the dragon scales, whereas Kata could not because he didn't have dragon scales when he did his ramp dupes.
And it looks like he duped some fire bombs as well, so he's probably gonna use those for Hydra.
He's going to use
I
them
mean,
for Hydra and Butterfly.
yeah.
Meanwhile, we actually just saw Kata do Butterfly with Soul Spears.
So as you can see, Kata is now saved at the Dark Garden bonfire, and that's a pretty good bonfire for speedrunners because it's just connected to so many bosses or areas that you have to go. So once you save there, you can just go kill a boss, dark sign back, go kill another boss, dark sign back, go to seal DLC, etc., etc. So it's a pretty common bonfire to be for speedruns.
Yeah, and one route difference we're going to see is that Raiden's actually going to be doing early Isolith, which with Dragon Tooth, whereas Kata will be doing it later with Magic.
Yeah, and looks like Kata wants to shut up everyone that says that Dragon Tooth is better for Sith.
Yeah, showing his political
So,
stance on that right now.
yeah, so it's confirmed. Magic Sith, best Sith. I wish AIK was here.
Yeah, same. So now Kata got his Dragon Tooth to +5, and now he's going to make his way to Seath. So I don't think we'll see manliness test on Raiden's side, but a man can dream.
And on his way to Sith, the scale is Kata's gonna pick out the Broken Pendant, of course, just because that's gonna allow you to access the DLC. And it's on the way, so it's efficient. And I'm actually curious. Oh no, never mind. I'm thinking about this. It's gonna perform another very well-known skip, sequence break. Technically, it's technically not a glitch, but just a sequence break. And through some clever platforming, it's gonna skip the entire prison area and the first Sith encounter.
Yeah, it saves. It's one of the skips that saves the most time in this game, because having to go through the intentional death sequence and go through the prison and all that takes a very long time.
It's basically an entire area of the game that you can skip just by rolling that way. Pretty common. Gonna move swap on the elevator. I guess to deal with the tunneler in case it doesn't want to cooperate. Oh no, yeah, I forgot about the golem. Never mind. And it squeezes through, no problem. And like we mentioned, he's about to perform the deep skip.
Yeah, there's also a nice little up warp you can do here to
I don't
skip
think
the elevator ride up, but it's slow RTA, so we're not going to see it today.
does that work on PTDE though? I thought it was
There's
on
there's
remaster.
there's a version you can do for PTD which saves around 2 seconds, but it's not
I,
the same as the remaster one.
I see. I never seen the PTDE.
Right, first eye juke skip from Kata, very nice.
Oh, yeah, it would have been pretty fun if the channel dropped the trident right now. Meanwhile, Raiden is about to fight the Centipede Demon, unless he takes a different road. No, he is. Definitely. Hope quit out the riot.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I also agree. I mean, he can afford the time he will lose if he fail. And also, he's probably fast enough to quit out if he mess it up. We'll see. But everybody's cheering for that, so he definitely should.
Well, luckily we will actually see a slot quit out in this run either way, just a lot later on. I didn't go for it. So basically, there's we will see it a bit later for seal skip, but there's a slope quit out you can do there, but it requires a pretty precise jump. Basically, when you land on a slope in this game, it actually, from a fall that would normally kill you, when you land on a slope, the game actually delays your death a bit because it needs to check whether or not the fall should actually kill you. But if you quit out during that time, you can actually just end up where you landed but be still alive.
Yep.
So yeah, you can do it for Crystal Caves, but as I said, it's a bit risky and only saves around 2 or 3 seconds RTA. So I'll let you decide if it's worth doing or not for yourselves.
And it's just one of many ways to cancel full damage.
Yeah, you can do the same thing with full control as well.
And we can see now that we have Aiden body, like we can just go through this section pretty easily, fast. Instead of doing the usual part that you have to do not to have the clamps with you during the Sith fight. And pretty easy move swap, and now Sith is dead. So if you hit the belly, it takes actually a little bit of damage. That's why I was hitting it at an angle. Because if since the Dragon Tooth is so long, if you hit it perpendicular to hitbox, you might hit the rest of his body that's behind the front butt. But if you just strafe and angle the camera a little bit, you can hit the front butt 100% and it goes down so fast.
Yeah, now Kata's making his way to the DLC, and Raiden is making his way to the Better Chaos boss. We're going to see Raiden do a nice little trick called Togi Bombs, where basically for Bed of Chaos, in order to get to the little bug, which actually is the boss, you have to get past this barrier, and in order to get past that, you need to destroy these 2 orbs on the left and right side of the arena. It's basically like a platforming level, which is pretty annoying, honestly, but turns out if you stand in the right spot, you can actually just snipe both orbs with fire bombs, and then go straight to the boss, which saves quite a bit of time.
I can see some more punches to cancel full damage, and Kat is on his way to the DLC. And
Yeah,
the
very
Guardian
clean run
fight,
so far from Kata.
yeah, and but the Guardian can actually be quite Monka-esque for Kata as well, because that can be a bit of a time waste, but we'll see what RNG gets. And he is gonna pick up the Dust Crown right behind the gate to get a little bit more extra magic damage. And you can see the Toki Bomb strats happening on the left side right now, as Ali mentioned.
Yes, it looks like Kata is a left side Guardian apologist. Feels bad, man.
And like I mentioned, the Guardian just wants to
Triple
play
big
ball.
lightning, dang.
Yep.
Pretty rare. But he ended up right next to the fog gate, so it's not too bad.
Yep. Actually pretty good. Okay. So we're Kali is about to perform the Royal Wood Skip, which is just some meme rolls, which I don't think we mentioned yet. And so basically, it's yet another way to cancel full damage. So if you, under certain conditions, the game allows you to roll in air. If you fall off fall off an edge in the right way, and you are you have the right amount of a keep load. So it's around like where the split between fast roll and mid roll is. If you got the exact right amount of keep load, you can just perform. You just keep rolling in air like it's doing right now, and so the iframes from the roll is just gonna cancel the full damage.
Yeah.
And he's on his way to Artorias right now.
And in the PTD version, you only have like a very small percentage of equip load leniency to reach the floating point error, where the game registers you as mid-rolling, but doesn't actually take away your ability to roll when you fall off a ledge.
And we've seen kind of practicing a lot of Artorias right before the run behind the scenes, so
Shake.
And I was gonna say, I guess he's pretty confident. I guess I jinxed it in my head, but it was not a big deal. So GG on RT. Now Raiden taking the same bonfire I mentioned earlier, because it's got a bunch of stuff to do in this area.
Please, Mario. I never throw my runs. So yeah, now Kata's going to go to Gwendolyn. Normally, it would be faster to do Gwendolyn at the same time you do Priscilla, but because Kata only had a +0 Dragon Tooth at that time, he wouldn't have been able to one-cycle Gwendolyn. So it's just faster to go do him now with +5 instead.
Yep. And in the Gwendolyn fight, you want to bait a specific attack, because the only attack pretty much allows you to reach him and kill him is the dagger throw that he does this one. Although this time it was a little bit too far. But it looks like he got some good RNG and he's gonna be able to finish him. No, not finish him, but... Or actually, yes. And Gwendolyn is down.
Gwendolyn can be a very annoying fight because you need to... If you don't set up RTSR in the fight, then you need to stagger him because it ends up being a 2-run in attack fight. But you can only stagger him after he's done the arrow attack. So sometimes he can just spam magic and there's literally nothing you can do, which is really annoying.
Meanwhile, we see some bomb mixed to Dragon Tooth Thrust for the Hydra, which went pretty well, I'd say. And now Raid is also off to free Dusk from the Crystal Golem. Meanwhile, we're gonna see on Kata's side, we're gonna see the newest glitch/skip that was discovered about a month and a half ago, which is the new Gothless Calamite. Basically, it allows you to kill Calamite pretty safely and consistently without having to grab the key or talk to Goth. And you can see it's just I keep the black separation crystal, and the only reason that you keep that is because when you try to use it, since there's no invader or there's no jolly cooperator in your world, it's gonna shrug, and that's useful for timing the exact moment when you're supposed to go back to the spot.
Yeah,
It's gonna start shrugging now.
And Gothless itself has been known about for a few years now, but it used to require a different setup, which required the use of Great Magic Shield, which wasn't really viable to go get in the PTD version of the game. But community member Androv actually discovered a way to do Gothless without needing Magic Shield. So you saw Kata do very specific pathing at the start of the fight, which allowed him to cast some Soul Spears on Calamite without getting hit. And yeah, it's a very clean 2-cycle fight there from Kata.
Yep. And meanwhile, we see Raiden died, I imagine, trying to set up RTSR. Yes. So now he's trying again, and he's going for Sif. With Dragon Tooth, but this doesn't count because it's a different PT Sif.
And yeah, one of the two of the biggest reasons why Kata picked up the Crown of Dusk at all was actually to save a cycle on Gothless. So he ended up getting 2-cycle with it instead of a 3-cycle, which was what you'd have without, which saves around 30 seconds alone. And Raiden picking up Stone Armor, which is, I assume, is going to be for Nito later.
Probably, yes. We've seen some people running a very similar route. I think it was pink and orange and gold. He ran a very similar route, but he had just so much health that it actually didn't really need stone armor. But in this case, I'm assuming it's gonna keep that for Nito.
And Kata is going to pick up the Darkbeat spell, which is going to be their main spell that he's going to use throughout the late game. As the name implies, it shoots out a bunch of Darkbeats at once. And when you combine that with the stats that Kata has, as well as having RTSR and Crown of Dusk, he's going to deal a lot of damage with it on bosses.
Okay. It's actually quite disgusting the amount of damage it does.
Yeah. Also, are we going to see the Poggers move swap from Kata? We are. Nice. Let's see if he gets it. Very Poggers.
Very progress indeed. And all to save like a second, maybe, question mark.
But you
But
got to think of the
and also
style
for the
points,
glory.
man.
Exactly. This is what he means when he says fashion souls.
Very nice malice from Kata.
Yeah, looks like a very nice and clean fight. And Manus is down as well.
Would that actually work though, Sass?
So at this point, Cal is gonna face the whole Lost Size Elite area, so all the bosses that are in this whole region of the game like gonna be dealt with when starting with the Fire Stage Demon. So not taking the usual route, but clipping through this elevator. So in this game, basically, whenever you quit out and load back in, you're gonna be slightly moved backwards. And what this allows, like, it's gonna be inside the collision box from the elevator before it loads, and that will allow him to clip down, to clip. And once he clips, it's gonna fall right through the Fire Stage Demon. So hoping it won't hit a branch that can mess this thing up, it will land right on a Fire Stage Demon's head. And since it's gonna do a plunge attack on him, like the game does not have full damage for plunge attacks. There you go. Doing some manuing during that longest animation, and gonna make quick work of Fire Stage Demon. A, because his AI is not activated, and B, because Dark Pits is just disgusting.
Yeah, it's kind of lucky they actually programmed a plunge animation if you were to land on Fire Sage's head. Otherwise, that trick wouldn't work.
Yeah, some RTS are set up on his way down, and he's gonna face the Centipede Demon right now.
Yeah, Dust Crown two-shot centipede is pretty free. Without though, it's actually pretty precise. Yes, it's only slightly faster, Red.
So we're gonna see Raiden doing the Saint Duke skip, pretty much because he has to. Like, even if you wanted to play safe, like if you don't do that skip, it's a huge amount of time. So he's gonna have to do it, whether he wants it or not. And also grabbing the broken pendant on his way. Meanwhile, Kada is probably gonna do some Toki bombs, but without aiming with the bow. So it's gonna be interesting.
Is he actually going to do it without the bow? That'd be very interesting to see.
I think so. It's pretty good at aiming.
Those are true charge strats right there. Yeah, Red.
If he misses, yeah. Sure. And looks like can get the drop, but it should be upstairs. So it's not
ran off a little early
one.
there, but you can try again. And unfortunate because you actually do lose a lot more time RTA when you have to retry Duke Skip than IGT.
Let's see how it. Oh, looks like it was a little bit too fast as well. Well, let's see what Kata does. Yeah, it does have the bow keep for obvious reasons, but let's see.
It would be faster without the bow size if you did an ultra YOLO setup, though. Nah, he's doing a bow aim. What a peach.
I guess it's fair to say Raiden won the race today just because of this.
Yeah. He won in our hearts.
Yep. There you go. And Battle Chaos is down, which so basically the first lord is gone, and we just have the four kings. Which I believe no, actually it's gonna do Nito first, and then it's gonna do the four kings, and that's gonna be it.
And then it's Capagape and then Gwyn.
Am I missing someone?
Yeah, he's got Ceaseless, Pinwheel,
Oh, Spears,
Nito, Four Kings, Capagape, and then Gwyn.
yeah, got confused a little bit. So let's see how Raiden does the crystal caves, because there's a bunch of ways to just get through them faster.
Yeah,
Probably not gonna do slow quit out.
Manly drop a wild. Going for the peach drop.
Here we go. So Catalystz on his way to Ceaseless, which is gonna just melt because of Dark Pits.
Yeah, it's just 2 dark beats. The fight's over. Look at that damage. 4,368.
Not even worrying about whatever RNG he gets, because yeah. So at this point, yeah, we're gonna go through the catacombs. So there's technically 2 bosses, but the first one doesn't really count. So it's gonna go through Pinwheel and Nito.
Yeah,
I mean, it's fair to say Pinwheel can be quite monk-ass in hitless runs because of the staggers or the stray, not the staggers, sorry, the fireballs could still hit you after he's dead. But in here, it just won't care because he can't survive a hit.
Yeah, we're also going to see hopefully, what's going to be the last air rolls of the run from Kato as well.
Yeah, there's a bunch of ways to plunge down to, I mean, to get down to the catacombs fast. So you can use plunges on slopes and then meme rolls, or you can just drop down the safe way. Oh, yeah, let's see what it does. He's probably gonna go for the slope at the start, I assume. And meanwhile, Raiden is on his way to Moonlight Butterfly, which is gonna, like you mentioned, is gonna use the black fire bombs to deal with. Because otherwise, you would, since he doesn't have any magic, otherwise you would have to wait for the Moonlight Butterfly to land to hit it. So. Just a meme.
Yeah, it can actually be pretty risky sometimes, or pretty finicky sometimes, because the skulls that float in the air actually move around in random directions once they spawn in. So if you get bad RNG, you can actually land on top of one of them while air rolling, and that can most situations kill you. But kind of got lucky.
And also that setup, it's so it's quite frame perfect because if you miss the right time that you start rolling at the beginning before you drop, like you can get down and still get damage even though you're rolling because it's right outside of your iframe. So that setup can be quite risky.
We saw Raiden do Butterfly with bombs, and he wore stone armor while doing so. Actually relatively clean. He got hit a few times, but
Now
Didn't
the
miss.
question that everybody's waiting for is Kara gonna go for Foggate skip?
It's a
And by
million-dollar
everybody, I mean
question.
me.
Million-dollar question. He's going to go
And
for it. Will
he
he
is.
get it? And he got it. Nice.
Nice, nice. Okay,
Focus.
Kara actually just won my heart back.
Yeah.
So GG Kara.
I just
So that
one.
so that skip is kind of hard. It's actually it's fairly easy skip, but if you want to do it fast, you have to rely on the fact that camera is not gonna mess up with you, and that happens pretty often, especially in Prepared edition. So yeah, GG, because it only takes basically 2 seconds compared to just doing the fog gate. So you don't often see it in race environments.
Yeah, I think Kada just won on style points alone. Right there.
Yep.
And now it's going to be time for Nito. Usually with hidden body to avoid the skeletons hitting you, it's normally a pretty chill fight, but Nito has this kind of scream attack, which kind of puts his sword. He like stabs his sword into the ground and then it hits you when it comes up through the ground. But there is a nice little trick you can do if that happens, where you two-hand your right-hand weapon and block, and if you do that, the attack actually goes through your character model. But let's see what happens here.
Yep. It looks like a pretty good RNG on Nido as well. So
Nice.
that is actually gonna have an interesting IGTL at the end, I believe, as well. So far, everything has been pretty smooth on his side. And we're gonna see how Guardian deals with Raiden, because Guardian, like we mentioned earlier, can be quite time bossy.
I think it's Flying Lightning is opener. Another Lightning. Hopefully no Brood Guardian. Okay, got a good attack. Got an R1. That's very unfortunate.
Yeah. Basically, what happens is he attacked a little bit too early, because in order to do that attack that we're trying to use with move swap, you have to be running. It's the run attack, so sometimes it can happen because there's a delay for everything in this game. So once you start running in your head, you have to muscle memory the time required to start using R1, and it looks like it was just a little bit too hasty on that one, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. And as I mentioned earlier, when I said we will be seeing a slope quit out from Kato in this run, this is the one I was talking about. So normally, to get to Four Kings, you need to drain the water usually, which means you have to go to Ingward and get the key to the seal and all that to drain the water. But by doing a slope quit out like Kato just did, you can actually get under the water level and then go out of bounds, quit out to remove death cam you get, and then you can just run to Four Kings from out of bounds. It saves like a minute or so.
So quite a long way back to the boss for Raiden.
And yeah, the other main reason that we pick up Crown of Dusk, other than 2-cycle Calamite, is one king. So Kada, he takes off the Crown of Dusk initially to get the Four Kings health bar to the lowest it can be, puts it back on, and if everything goes right, should be 3 dark beats here. Okay, nice.
Yep. Looks like I missed one because he got a little bit of a bad RNG, but he went through it. Problem regardless.
Yeah, and that is the...
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying that's the fight that 45 Dex is actually most important on, because with any slower cast speed, you actually won't be able to get the third dark beat off in time. See how Raiden's second try Guardian goes here.
Yeah,
Getting a bit of
a Guardian.
getting a bit of a Dutch Guardian here. Okay, killed him, nice.
There you go. Good Guardian this time. And now, I don't believe he has a setup for the meme rolls for a Royal Wood skip, right? Has he?
Hmm?
Or,
If
I don't
he's,
believe he has that.
yeah, I don't think so. We'll see though.
We'll see. And we're seeing a bit of holo trolling on Kata's side. But and some more hollow trolling with the almost parry.
Had failed his first try low under berg skip and did not pick up the rubbish. So I guess he just disqualified himself with that, unfortunately.
Did it? I missed that entirely because I was looking at
Um,
Guardian
Ch-
fight.
Chad is saying that he didn't. Well,
Unfortunately, I missed that entirely, but I agree then.
we saw a nice little trick from Kata once he killed Capra Demon, when he quit out as victory achieved just appears. And basically, when you're in a boss arena, the boss is still alive. The game considers that to be where you are to be unstable ground. So if you quit out, it spawns you at the last stable ground you're on, which is usually outside the fog gate. But if you quit out just as victory achieved appears, the game will still be registering you as being on unstable ground. So even though the boss is dead, you will still spawn outside the fog gate, which is a nice little time save.
It looks like he has a setup for throw a wood skip.
He's gonna do the plunge version, I'd imagine. Yeah. Stand setup as well, nice. And he got it.
Yeah, good one. So Kata is way into his cleanup phase. So he's basically killing the two bosses left that are not really a problem. So Capra and Gaping right now, and at this point he only has Queen left. So it's looking pretty good for Kata, especially with the setup because with Dark Bits, like the only thing you have to really be afraid is the initial parry, but that's a pretty well practiced parry for heavy speedrunner. So.
Yeah, now it's the home stretch for Kata. He's gonna set about his on the kiln with the first knight, and then he's gonna make his way to Gwyn.
And looks like Artie wants to play Frogger a little bit. But I should go down with no problem.
Nice.
RTS are set up for Kata.
And Raiden's gonna go trigger Calamite because he will not be doing Golfless, so he needs to have entered the Calamite arena at least once, so that when he talks to Golf later, he'll shoot him Calamite down for him.
Yep. So we're about to face Queen on Kata's side. Unless meme happens, but it should be fine. There he goes.
So just be one parry, and then the fight's over. Alright, GG to Kata.
Yep, GG. And someone said it's the tournament record as of now. It's very possible. Yep. Nice. GG on Kata.
Very nice. Sub 70 RTA.
Very clean run. Very, very clean run. So it looks like he has been practicing behind the scenes. He just wanted to troll us in making us believe he's only doing all achievements. And remaster, by the way.
Mhm. Yeah, and on Raiden's side at the moment, we can see he has to go through Ulasil normally because he does not have meme rolls. Or any meme roll setup he could use.
So on his way to pick up the key, yeah, the key for Goff. Right inside. Okay. And an interesting hitbox right there, by the way. Thank you, Miyazaki, for that.
Miyazaki spin.
Yep.
Oh, left side poker's pathing from Raiden here.
Yeah. But interesting, I think it was relying a little bit too much on a hidden body. Not be that big of a deal.
Oh no. Raiden fell into
That's
the
an
chain prisoner there.
unfortunate death and very big time loss.
Yeah, I think he should have tried to go around the right once he got blocked the first time. I don't
I think I
think
did mention
he...
earlier that this split is a split that is least comfortable with.
I don't think... Yeah, he didn't send the elevator back up, so he's gonna have to run around again.
So this time doesn't have to pick out the key again, so he's just gonna go straight for menus. And let's see how he does, how he deals with it, guys.
He is sending the elevator up this time. Yeah, and he's gonna have to rest at the bonfire for Manus now, so that he'll have enough hidden bodies.
There he goes, play this time. Also, catching the elevator. And by the way, since we have a little bit of running, I'd like to remind you guys, so if you don't know Speed Souls, we're one of the oldest and biggest communities around the Soulsborne games, solely focused around speedruns. So if you guys want to learn how to speedrun, just join the community to get notified about the events and the next tournaments, for even for other Soulsborne games. Just follow us on the Discord, or on the wiki that we maintain, or on the pretty much everywhere that you can find Dark Souls. There's some of Speed Souls, so put it in the chat as well if you don't know where the Discord is.
Yeah, and also like shout outs to Regal, who obviously initially organised the tournament this year and has been restreaming a lot of matches. And shout outs to everyone else who's been helping restream and commentate and whatnot. Returning.
Yeah, shout out to all the organizers and also the community, because these events are made for the community, by the community. That would not be possible if there wasn't so many people passionate about these games. So GG to all of you guys. And it's rain, man. It's oh, it looks okay. That was a little bit weird.
Speed running in the rain feels good, man.
And Manus is down. So at this point, what does he miss? I think he's missing the cleanup stuff.
Yeah,
Oh no, he doesn't. Has he
he's
killed
done.
Priscilla and Gwendolyn yet?
He's done Bed of Chaos and all them bosses already. So he's got Nito, Capra Gaping, Four Kings, and
I just don't
Calamite as
remember
well.
whether he.
He's got to do
Oh,
Calamite
Carl
as
as well.
well.
Yeah, you're right. Planet.
And I
And
think,
also,
yeah, I think he does have Priscilla and Gwendolyn left as well, yeah.
yeah, exactly. So quite a few bosses to go. And yeah, I read that also Gwendolyn and Priscilla.
Yeah. Oh, and Stray as well, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, pretty sure he's got to do Stray as
Oh
well.
yes, yeah, sorry, of course. Yeah.
I always forget about Stray in these routes. Yeah, this is what Goffless skips on one in runs we do now, because going to get the quest key and talk to Goff and having to trigger Calamite early and whatnot is pretty slow.
And it looks like Raiden's in the chat.
This is actually one of the coolest cutscenes in the game, in my opinion.
To be fair, there aren't that many, but but yeah.
I actually haven't seen this cutscene in quite a few years. Pretty funny.
Ah,
Rip Calamite's wing. Feels bad, man. Ah, I know what it's ass. What an amateur bowman.
of the Hobbit. Okay. Let's see how it does with Calamity. The Calamity in the old-fashioned way, quite interesting. Quite interesting fight. Yeah, speedrun. It doesn't usually go that fast, but we'll see how it deals with that.
Yeah, so DT plus 5 Calamite with move swap can be either a really fast fight or a really slow fight, depending on the RNG you get. So we'll see what happens for Raiden.
Also, 106.04 in-game time for Kata. GG.
Yep, very nice.
Very good time.
If he would have actually been sub 106 if he hadn't failed though under perk skip. It would have been cool. But 106.04 is definitely a really good time as well. GG.
Yeah, it would be 6th place if he wasn't already first. So
not the cleanest Calamite fight, but managed to get him down first try, which is nice.
Yep, definitely. So at this point, I'm assuming it's gonna go for a Brazilian Gwendolyn, stray Brazilian Gwendolyn. I guess we'll see.
We'll see. Well, looks like he's going to go for Capra Gaping first.
Yep. So let's see if he gets the start points for either getting aware on that bird skip first try or picking up the rubbish.
That's really unfortunate.
I guess rubbish it is.
Oh, I thought he was going to skip the rubbish for a second, but he
Yeah.
turned to the side and got it.
I guess he wants every advantage he can against Gala. So easy.
Although, to be fair, Kada did disqualify himself from not picking up the rubbish, so Raiden's already won. Anyway. A second try feels good, man.
And no quit. Oh. Okay, what? Thought he didn't want to quit out. Oh, I see.
Yeah, and Raiden's making his way to Gaping. There's actually a pretty cool out of bounds you can do here, which lets you go and skip Gaping's Fog Gate. It saves around 10 seconds IGT, but is even or slow RTA. So we didn't see either runner go for it today.
Yeah, besides it's very precise. It's frame perfect, so if you mess it up, you have to retry it again, and it's a huge loss.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Should be a pretty straightforward fight against. Well, the T plus 5. We'll see. I mean, I don't think he can die even if he hits a leg or something, but we'll see. Could be easy. Just doesn't even want to try. There you go.
It looks like he's going to go to Stray now.
Yep. And if you're into speedrunning again, I encourage you to join the Discord if you're not in already. Not just because of the official Speed Souls tournament, but there's also a bunch of notification about well-known runners running at marathon events, often even for charity. So it's quite interesting to see. It's quite a good place to be in.
Oh, it looks like Raiden did do the Nico voice trigger, which is super poggers. It's like Omega style points right there.
and pretending to be an egg. Every speedrunner's wet dream.
Mm. I think it's funny how they included pretending to be an egg in all of the Dark Souls games. Very nice feature.
Wait, did they?
Yeah, and well, I don't know if I know DS1 and DS2 have them. Pretty sure DS3 has one as well. I'm not
Where
sure.
is it in DS2?
It's when you go to Bastille after Pursuer.
Oh, you're right. I forgot about it. I haven't played Dark Souls 2 in quite a while. And I will not add any more comments to that sentence.
Mhm. Yeah, we don't want to get political here.
Yep. So like we said earlier, Dragon Tooth Stray Demon can be quite monk-ass, but in this case it went pretty smoothly. And I guess it's just gonna straight up kill the Black Knight.
Looks like it will be Nito time, or Pinwheel time, rather.
Yep.
I'm going to judge from the fact that he equipped the Dragon Tooth in his right hand that he's going to go for the plunge strat, which would be pretty cool if he does.
Yep. Again, collecting those style points.
Yep.
Or it might be his air roll setup, but we'll see. It's probably gonna be punch.
I don't think he has an overall setup with these stats. Maybe though, we'll
I
see.
have no, but he surprised me with the royal skip. So
Well, it looks like Raiden might be on PB pace as well, which is pretty cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
good for him.
yeah, it looks like he is
Yeah.
going to go for the plunge.
Yeah, getting a PB in a race environment is three poggers.
So yeah, bone wheels can be
I think it started. It was a little bit too hasty on starting to run, but since he has hidden body, the
oh
guys
yeah,
just didn't give a.
yeah. Without head and body, the bone wheels can be pretty monk-shake with the plunge strat, but head and bodies, it's pretty chill.
Yeah, if you just wait a little bit to recharge stamina before you start running, you can sprint almost off the bat, so it's not usually that big of a deal. But if you accidentally try to run before that happens, it can be quite scary without hidden body. And Pinwheel just went down, like the little bee he is.
Hmm.
And let's see if he attempts fog escape as well, which I'm gonna be very surprised if he does. But you never know.
Nah. Whip style points.
Yep. Oh, a little bit of an early jump in there. He's gonna have to go
Will he get
longer.
hole in one though? Nah, he didn't. Looks like he didn't go for it. Hmm. Looks like he got the Black Knight suicide as well.
Yeah.
which is a pretty funny thing that can happen when you run through Tomb of the Giants sometimes.
Especially when you're running DSR and he drops a big age.
Yeah, I actually got the bigger H once in PTD. One of the first runs I ever did, which was pretty funny.
I don't think I've ever seen, again, in about 80 or so hours of Dark Souls casually before I even started watching speedruns. I think I never got any of the Black Knight weapons.
I think I got a Black Knight sword on my first playthrough. So yeah, with so we can see on Raiden, he's gonna do Dragon Tooth or Stone Armor on Nito. Did a little plunge there to avoid taking full damage. And yeah, unlike Kada, he's gonna have to kill the skeletons here if he doesn't
Yeah.
want them to try to stun lock him.
Yeah, so as we mentioned earlier, the stone armor, it's just such a huge poison resistance, so you can just tank through the attacks and not get and just attack right afterwards. So
Yeah, without Stone Armor here, with Dragon Tooth, you'd pretty much just be stun locked by everything and wouldn't be able to get a single hit off.
this was one of the earliest strats for Nido in speedruns before better routes were discovered and the need for it disappeared. And as well for Four Kings, I believe. I think you could just tank through the poison damage with the stone armor, if I recall correctly.
Now it's Four Kings time.
But before that, it's seal skip time.
Does it actually, Sass? If so, that's hilarious.
Some very early moves up. Okay. Wait, did he not get it earlier? I think I saw he got it. Must be blind. So some more RTSR setup. And he's ready to go.
Lamar we go.
Once again, seal skip basically allows you to be out of bounds but alive, because you quit out before the kill box kills you, and so you can just walk straight to the out of bounds section of the game, and therefore go into the Four Kings fight without any of the things that you usually have to do. But looks like he's having quite a bit of an issue. This area is actually, this skip is actually scarier than it looks, especially because the gravity in this particular region is quite convoluted. So sometimes you get the regular fall, sometimes you get a slow fall, sometimes you get a fast fall, and you have to time it pretty precisely in order for it to succeed. But he got it, so he's on his way to Four Kings now.
Yeah, unlike Kada, Raiden's going to get 2 kings, so he's going to do a nice little trick when he lands in the arena, where he's going to drop an item, because coincidentally enough, where you land in from out of bounds happens to be the exact spot where the second king will spawn. So if you drop an item here, you can see where he's going to be right after you kill the first king, which is nice.
A bit of a bad RNG to start with, but hopefully you can just dodge it now. Yeah, be fine. That attack is quite scary for both speedrunners and challenge runners, because it's just so unpredictable. Especially when you're against For example, right here is very close to the exterior wall of the arena, because you can see it, but there's actually a wall outside. And when that attack hits
Monk
the wall,
shake.
ooh, okay. Yeah, when that attack hits the wall, it just takes a 90-degree turn and goes straight for you. So it can be quite a scare to get it.
I think that it's just Priscilla, Gwendolyn, and Gwen left for Raiden now.
Yep. Yeah, because he got the pendant, but he didn't go for them. So, and also he didn't get the flame bonfire.
Yes, I think he might end up doing some pro strats and setting up RTSR with full damage and do Gwendolyn first, which is one of the ancient things that you used to do in all bosses. Looks like he might go for it. We'll see.
Well, this is a long run again. Remember to join the Discord for hospitals, because we always need people to get involved into the world, just to make these all these events happen, and to follow the runners as well. And we don't just do Dark Souls 1, we do all the Soulsborne games. So usually you can find any sort of speedrun for any sort of game going on at any given time. It's a pretty solid community.
Yeah, and if you're interested in learning any of the Soulsborne games, whether it be Demon Souls, DS1, 2, 3, or Bloodborne, you can find many people on the Speed Soldiers Discord who will gladly help you with anything you're having issues with, or helping you start out learning those games.
Or explain why we toggle the weapons while we run. Everything's there. We also have a
And
wiki. Yeah.
yeah, I was just about to say, yeah, you can
Yeah.
also, if you are interested in route notes for certain routes or explanations for glitches in the Soulsborne games, you can go check out the Speed Souls wiki and read about that.
Yeah, and like any wiki is maintained by the community. So if you feel like there should be something, don't feel ashamed to write something. Just write something, and if someone else thinks like it should be better written, or we should expand more on that, someone will take care of it. But it's important that all the community contributes to these sort of projects. Yeah, I meant like you correcting Miracle. That's exactly what I meant. Or Mool, or anybody else, really.
Now Raiden's making his way to Painted World.
Yeah, that's a good example, Rahin. You should go and write it yourself. Yeah, see? Some of you now has to do it. Like, if I don't see it happening within the next week, I'm gonna blame all three of you. Come on. Frank. So he doesn't need to bother with the red sign sub, because he has the just the regular RTSR, and he's gonna go straight for Priscilla.
Yeah, and we saw Carter do this as well, but we can see that Raiden's going to do a nice little drop onto this invisible ledge here to get down onto the bridge, which bypasses having to go do a bunch of stuff that you normally have to. Mhm.
She went on pretty fast.
I expected
So.
this much from thee. Why does thee hurry toward thine death?
And using a throwing knife instead of an arrow to see where she is. Nice. There's Gwyn left now for Raiden.
Yes. And Gwyn with Dragon Tooth can be quite a weird fight, but with the amount of health it has, not be a problem. I'll be surprised if it's gonna go for RTSR, but we'll see.
Yeah, it looks like he's also going to go for riposte strats as well, instead of going for move swap Gwyn.
Yeah, he's playing the safe way. I think it's a good call. Because doing move swap Gwyn is you rely entirely on RNG. Basically. Well, not entirely. I mean, there's stuff that you can do to try and bait the right movements from Gwyn, but it's still really
Well,
monk-ass.
to be fair, he does die extremely quickly though in this route. It's like 2 or 3 backstab
Oh
attacks
yeah,
maybe.
yeah, yeah. That's why it's also a Dragon 2 +5. So, well, we'll see what it does.
Yeah, he's going to go for parries, I think.
Okay, RTS already.
Yeah, it's with Hornet Ring, it should be just 2 ripostes.
Well, let's spam some Frankenseas
Frankenzy.
on a home stretch. He remembers to roll. That was kind of monk-ass because I could hear the footsteps right behind him, but he managed to survive.
Ooh, going for the AI bait with the Blossom and getting it. Nice.
Good one. And load of
GG to
all
Raiden.
like everybody should. GG. GG Raiden, GG both of the runners. And I guess now we're gonna just wait for Red to pop them back into voice chat so there we can have a little chat.
Also, I believe that is an IGTPB for Raiden.
Is it? Oh, 139.
Yeah,
Nice. Is that PB Raiden?
PB for Raiden.
Is it? Oh, you're still muted,
Yeah.
by the way. Nice. Is that?
Hi guys.
There you go.
This is
Hello. Did this PB? Nice. Congrats on your PB and congrats on the run to both
Congrats, Raiden.
Pete.
Yeah.
What a shit show.
Well,
And congrats
GG
to
Raiden.
Kat as well.
GG, Kara.
Thank you,
Expected.
guys.
So pretty smooth run for you, Kata. I don't think anything went terribly wrong, right?
I mean, yeah, the missed lower brick skip, of course. I had really bad ONS, bad Artorias, bad Guardian. Other than that, was alright, I guess. Not too bad considering I haven't really played the game since my last race, so I'm pretty happy. Got the fastest run of the tournament so far. Definitely can get 108 with some good RNG and some clean gameplay. So hopefully we'll get to see that before the end of the tournament.
Yeah, I gotta give you
Yeah.
some style points for the fog gate skip.
Yeah. Though I must ask Kata the question that must be on everyone's mind right now. And that is, why didn't what was up with you not picking up the rubbish after that failed low under big skip?
I just forgot about it, honestly.
Ah man.
It
Yeah,
was
I saw
really,
that Raiden picked it up though, so at least there was some rubbish. He picked it up for me. He was nice.
Even showed it on the ladder. Did you get the? Did you guys catch the Catacombs plunge I did?
Yeah, we
Oh yeah,
we
yeah,
saw
we were
it.
actually, yep, we were
Tournament,
actually giving you style points for that.
tournament premiere. Feels good, man.
Mhm.
Yep, it was a pretty interesting race.
So
Yeah.
yeah, GG to you, Kata, for the win, and GG to Raiden for the PB. So
Thank you
Kata,
again.
you will be going on to face Sapioke in the next round of the losers bracket. How do you feel about this matchup?
I honestly don't know how Sappy has been playing, but anything can happen in a race. This one went really smooth for me, but I mean, next time maybe I'll die to FEC again or whatever and get hit by Artorias again. So I'm just gonna play my game, and I think I've said this before, I think as long as I play the best that I can beat anyone in the tournament. So that's what I'll try to do.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So congratulations again to both racers, and thanks to the whole community, not just the organizers, but the whole community for being here, for supporting, for cheering, and yeah. Again, once again, join the Discord. I know I'm like shoving this in your face, but you know, every community wants to grow, and yeah, we're always looking for new people to join and become part of the community. So,
Also, just as a reminder, there's going to be more races coming this weekend. There's a race between Mario and Static on October 1st, so that's Friday, and then there's three races on October 2nd, and another one on October 3rd. So if you enjoy these races, make sure to follow the channel and check it out during this weekend because there's a lot more action to come.
yeah, a lot more action during the weekend generally, and also a lot more action at the later times because this race was entirely European. But even if you live in the States and you're just catching this in your morning, there's usually races in your evening or afternoon rather.
Yeah.
Just follow the channel to be notified. And there's also
Yeah.
a schedule on the Discord that's the new one for this coming week is going to be posted pretty soon in the announcement channel. So be sure to check it out.
Yeah. So thanks everyone for watching, and thanks Elfwind for commentating with me, and also thanks Red for restreaming this match. And yeah, I think that if there's nothing else, I think that yeah, thanks for
Yeah,
watching.
thanks for being here, guys, and yeah, I'll see. We'll catch you next time.